7 on the agenda, 25 CUP 105.
Hello, Lucia Rodriguez, Office of Planning Staff, 444 South 5th Street, 40202. This is for 25 CUP 0105 at 611 West Breckinridge Street for a short-term rental. The request today is for a conditional use permit to allow short-term rental of a dwelling unit that is not the primary residence of the owner. This is zone TNZD in the traditional neighborhood form district. It has 3 bedrooms for a maximum of 8 guests. This contains off-street parking and no short-term rental approved by CUP within 600 foot of the subject property exists. This is a zoning map. The property is adjacent to properties that are in the Sobro Plan Development District. Next slide, please. This is an aerial showing the existing conditions on site. Next slide, please. This is the 600-foot buffer showing no current other approved CUPs in there. This is a view of the subject property as seen from West Breckinridge Street. This is the property located to the left and the adjacent property to the right. This is a view of the adjacent property located across the street from the subject property. Staff finds that this is adequately justified for approval. There's existing residential use. It appears to meet all standards of conditional use permit. There is no 600-foot issue, and there's sufficient parking on site. The required actions for today are to approve or deny the conditional use permit to allow the short-term rental of a dwelling unit that is not the primary resident of the owner. Any questions for staff?
Don't believe so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have 4 speaker cards for those, 3 speaker cards for those signed up to speak in support. I have a speaker card for Tom Murphy, Meagan Murphy, and Jamie Murphy. Do each of you wish to speak? If so, I'll swear you all in.
We're not all related.
Pardon me?
We're not all related.
They're not all right.
This happens.
Yeah.
So,
Really?
So Tom's actually a neighbor.
Okay.
No,
All right.
No relation.
Okay. Well, if you all want to speak, I'll swear you all in at the same time. Stand. You swear that the testimony you're about to give today is the truth. All right. Who'd like to start? Yes.
Madam Chair and the board, Lucia, thank you for the opportunity to talk today.
We'll need your name and address.
Sorry. Jamie Murphy, 611 West Breckinridge, Kentucky 40203. Again, thank you again for letting me speak today. I'm here on behalf of the short-term rental approval for the CUP. We purchased our home here in Louisville in March. We've been doing steady improvements since then. The house was on the market for 2 years, and prior to that, it was, I believe, a long-term rental. So much of what we've done is to get it back up to speed of where it needed to be for just somebody occupying the home. So we had our neighborhood meeting. We actually had 2 of them. We had the first one on June 5th, and the second one on May 1st. At the June 5th meeting, we had 2 representatives from the community. One, which is Tom's here, a neighbor down the street from us. He was there. And then somebody else, not a neighbor, was there, but there's a member of the community. So what the concerns at that time from the meeting, the neighborhood meeting, was parking going to be an issue? There's some concerns for noise. And then really it was just general vagueness of speaking against a short-term rental and what that meant to the community. Nothing specifically against us, but that individual was really concerned about big corporations coming in and taking over properties so other people can't live in these communities. I assured her, we are, a single family. I'm here with my wife, Meagan, and my 2 kids. We're not a big company. We are just trying to pay for our future college education is what we're trying to do. And what we're really trying to do is have a house that we can come visit and rent. I mean, not rent, obviously, we're not going to pay ourselves rent, but we want a place to come vacation. And so whenever my wife and I go to different places, we look to see where we want to come and visit more often. And when we came to Louisville about 2 years ago, we became our search because we fell in love with the community. And then it took us 2 years to find the house that we wanted. And here we are today. The June 5th meeting that we had, there was really no concerns at that meeting. There was the one gentleman that was there was misunderstood the reason why we're there. They thought we were going to be a bar and wanted a liquor license. So we quickly dispatched that and we worked with them and we answered any questions those individuals had at that time. So those were the two meetings that we had. I do want to let the board know that I do have one other rental. Me and my wife have owned a Michigan State University housing for the last 4 years. That's about an hour away from our home because we live in Michigan. And I to let the board know, I am very familiar with property management. I'm my own contractor there. I do all the work myself there. It's only about an hour away from my house. So there's a lot of regulations that we go through. So an annual inspection every year. I get my furnaces inspected every 2 years, and we were totally compliant, up to date, and we've never been in non-compliance with that rental. And actually, I will report that that's a yearly rental, so the students, they re-up every year. And we were just in a transition period where the seniors were leaving, and the new kids coming in, they said that our house was the cleanest house of all the houses that they saw. You know, and that really just speaks to what we're about here. I mean, it's a college house and we can all imagine what college houses look like, but not ours because we put a lot of TLC in and we want them to have a good experience. And that's exactly what we've done here in Louisville. The house, we've owned it since March and we've done a lot of work to get it up to speed to a place where we want to come. And we have come multiple times. So not only are we looking to short-term rent this house, we're going to use it for ourselves. We've been to the library many times with our kids because we're trying to promote, good little kids and good little humans. And we also have an annual pass to the zoo, which we've gone to already. And we have also, my kids will enjoy that we went to Kentucky Kingdom as well. So, and we got an annual pass there too. So we're trying to be part of the community on both sides. Even when we first moved into this house and we started doing some work, I instantly met both of the neighbors on either side. I have their cell phone numbers. They have my cell phone number, and we've been in communication with them with anything that happens. And then now at one of the neighborhood meetings, we learned some other neighbors, and we became friends with them as well because we're really about being part of the community. Part of the regulation is that we have to have an emergency contact within 25 miles, and we do have that. His name is Brandon Jeanette. He's a home inspector for the city of Louisville, so he will be our emergency contact, and he lives within that travel distance. We also are using all local contractors or maintenance people, cleaning crews. Those are all people that are local, so we're supplying, helping increase the economy here by putting some people to work here. And actually, I actually read this the other day. I wasn't totally aware of this, but the governor here has the new Kentucky Home Initiative, which is trying to bring in revenue into the economy. And I kind of feel like what we're trying to do here fits that. We're trying to be part of the community, but we're also trying to, pay for some kids' education in the future. Other things that we've done since we've been here, what isn't just the zoo and the park in the Kentucky Kingdom. We've also been to the walking bridge multiple times with our family. It hasn't been just my immediate family. My in-laws have been here as well. So we're really trying to enjoy the community. My wife will tell you that on all the different visits, we frequent every single restaurant that we possibly could just to try to get an understanding of what it's like. And we absolutely love it here, and we plan to use it multiple times a year. That is all that I have in support. I thank you for your time. Do you have any questions for me?
At this time.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ms. Murphy, do you wish to speak? It's up to you.
You said everything.
Okay. All right. Tom Murphy. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm Tom Murphy. I'm at 607 West Breckinridge Street, which is 2 doors down from the subject property.
Mr. Murphy, I'll swear you in. Raise your, oh, you've already been, that's right. You're good.
Yeah.
I was going to swear you in
Okay.
twice. You're good.
I just wanted to make a brief comment that I appreciated the positive community impact of the property improvements that have been made. Also wanted to emphasize that they've been very neighborly and communicated clearly at the 2 neighborhood meetings that were held. And I'd like to thank you for your time, and I hope that you will approve their request. Thank you.
All right. Assuming there were no questions for Mr. Murphy. I have a speaker card for Ms. Ulrich.
I've used eye drops and they don't dry up, so I apologize.
We didn't.
Carl Ulrich,
All right.
112 East Ormsby Avenue, 40203. I'm not speaking directly
Okay,
in
and I will
opposition.
swear you in. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give today is the truth? Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give today is the truth?
I do.
Please proceed.
I need some clarification because it wasn't very obvious. There's some inconsistencies about the application. I went to one of the neighborhood meetings, and typically me, I ask a lot of questions. And I thought the application for it reads, it's a single family, no, it used to be a duplex, but now it's vacant. So I'm thinking, oh, that means they're converting it back to a single family house. No, that's not what she said they're going to do. They're keeping the duplex. So I thought, okay, but now the duplex the whole house is 3 bedrooms. There are no others. 1 bedroom. So I looked up because it wasn't provided. I wish they had the requirements would meet at the location. So I had to do a lot of digging myself to find out what's the actually configuration of the house. When they bought the house, it was sold as a, one unit had 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. And the second unit had 1 bedroom and a bath, which means, and it's a typical old law happens a lot, the smaller houses, only about 1,900 square feet. The single bedroom unit is based on the pictures of, I used the sales records. I looked back on how was the house sold to them. And it was sold as a duplex. And it described 1 unit had 2 bedrooms and the other unit has 1 bedroom. So when you look at the picture, the 3rd bedroom is on the 3rd floor based on the gavel type roof. So I had to make up my own determination what it is. So, and then she said they're not going to do what I assumed they would, use a single family house. They're going to keep the duplex. Okay. So I said, okay, the duplex, but they're still asking for 3-bedroom rental. So how this doesn't make sense to me, okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. So I'm thinking this needs to be clarified. If it's 3-bedroom, then it isn't a duplex anymore. But she insisted they're going to keep it as a duplex. Okay. The other issue that I have is a safety issue, which means that the second unit on the top with 1 bedroom, it's typically required. You have to have a fire escape. There is no fire escape. To me, that's a safety issue. So if they're keeping as a one single family house at 3 bedrooms, I don't think that's a problem, but it needs to be specified because she said that she even mentioned she might want to ask BOSA to approve rentals for both units. Well, that was a red flag to me because then you have two short-term rentals that are non-owner occupied in the same building, and that I would have objected to that. But the clarification needs to be, if it's 3-bedroom, is it now a single-family house or is it a duplex? And if it stays a duplex, then it can't be three units. It has to be the other way. Plus, the fire is, in my opinion, that's a fire hazard. That's not approved by the fire department. You have a second unit on the first floor. That's any questions? Did I make
Questions for
sense?
Ms. Ulrich? We will give the applicant an opportunity to come back up for rebuttal and answer those questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, we have an online speaker in opposition.
All right.
Are you ready or did?
Ready? Yes. Mr. Peterson? Hi. Are you speaking in opposition or support? You're speaking in opposition? Okay, I can't hear you. Looks like you're muted.
Stephen, you're showing us unmuted in the WebEx system. So if we can't hear you, it might be a microphone issue.
Does it look like you're unmuted on your end?
Your video is working,
Okay,
but
Oh, he's going to call.
okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Name and address, sir.
Stephen Peterson, 932 South 6th Street, Louisville, Kentucky, 40203.
You raise your right hand, I'll swear you in. You swear that the testimony you're about to give today is the truth, Mr. Peterson.
I do.
Please proceed.
So I wanted to address the Board of Zoning Adjustments about this CUP. I am a member of the Neighborhood Association and live just around the block. I've been in the neighborhood almost 16 years. I'm not speaking on behalf of the Neighborhood Association. I'm here just speaking personally. But I wanted to oppose this for a few reasons. The Limerick neighborhood is a historically black neighborhood. I think, in my opinion, that when we're turning this into like a transient use investment for an out-of-town owner, that we're extracting resources and wealth and even long-term neighbors from the neighborhood. I was looking at the staff report and the presentation that was presented to you, and it indicates that there are 2 parking spaces available off street. That I would say is legally questionable. There are actually the meets and bounds of the property lines show that it only goes back the distance of the home, 60 feet, and I didn't see any arrangement with the Louisville Metro Housing Authority who owns that, so there would be potential encroachment, and I didn't see an easement recorded either for that. There's actually existing STR just at 700 feet. So I know the map you saw, doesn't have anything on it, but just outside that circle there is, and within 1,000 feet there are 2 proposed transitional houses that are going through the pipeline now. Just in general, I just think that we've had bad experiences in Limerick with Airbnbs. In fact, there's one on 6th Street, the block that I'm on, just around the corner, that had a gathering 2 weekends ago, and folks that stayed there decided it would be funny in the middle of the night to move all the road closure signs. There's construction going on, and then could have caused a traffic accident. So that, I'm not saying that would happen here, but it's potential that could happen when people get together and party. That's sometimes an outcome that we need to be prepared for. I just don't want to see a non-local entity, non-owner occupied property become a but an Airbnb at this point. It just doesn't fit the neighborhood. And I would take any questions if there are any.
Members, any questions for Mr. Peterson? Don't believe there are any at this point. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We don't have anybody else online to speak, do we? Okay, all right. So, Mr. Murphy, you get 5 minutes for rebuttal.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson and Helga. I appreciate your guys' comments today. I know we met Helga in one of our neighborhood meetings where she was concerned about, an outside investor coming in. Just because we're not local, we didn't choose where we were born and where we live. We grew up in Michigan and where we're at now, but it doesn't mean that we can't be members of this community. We fall in love with this community and we want to be active in this community, as I've kind of mentioned prior. There was some confusion when we bought the home, whether or not, and we tried to figure out if it was a single family versus a duplex. And as my understanding, it could be used for either. And that's when we called the city to try to get the information about that. And so that's basically where we're at with that. There is one entrance that goes into the home, and then they've separated it between the entrances. So I guess prior to that, they had somebody living on the top floor and somebody living on the bottom floor. We're not looking to do anything other than what it's already been used for. And we will comply with any stipulations that need to be made for the home. If there's a fire escape type of situation, if that's requested or demanded, we will absolutely comply with that, as I've done with my Michigan State house. We will do that with this house too, if that's a concern. I appreciate Mark's comments. Mr. Peterson, my apologies, his comments as far as the 700-foot rule versus the 600-foot rule, but the 600-foot rule is what's there. That's right. So we are applying for a cup within and there's no other cup within 600 feet of us. So we're within the regulations of that. And I can appreciate his comments, but
Yes.
obviously the powers that be have decided that 600 feet is the rule and we're within it. One of the other things that we have concerns, as well as the neighbors have concerns, as far as we don't want parties in there either. There's things that we can do when we vet our guests and the length of time that we vet our guests for, to make sure that we're not renting it for one night, because that is not what we want. We put a lot of effort into this house because we will come back and use it, but we don't want people in there destroying it either. We do have external cameras that we can see people coming in and people going out of our home, so we can make sure that the house is being used as appropriate. And we will take any measures necessary to prevent, bad events in the community. I'm constantly looking at it now because I care about what happens. Like, as Tom testimonied to, that we've cleaned up not only our house, but the alleyway that you saw on the diagram, out front parking, and also the backyard. So Mr. Peterson mentioned about parking. So there's parking in front of the home, which you can see on the diagram. There's parking behind the home too, and that's public parking for any of the members of that area that can park there. When we've parked there, we've had up to 3 cars directly behind our house, and they all fit, and that doesn't take away from any of the neighbors parking. And actually, to be honest with you, sometimes when we're not there, neighbors park where we park. But there's not assigned parking. Everybody, it's first come, first served parking, and there's ample spots for all of us to park.
So it is your intent to operate this as a single home, not a duplex, single family residence. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Because it appeared that was confusing from the public meeting.
Right, and because of how the house was used prior, because we bought the house, it was listed as a duplex.
Okay. And right now, there's no egress. Well, there is egress from that upstairs bedroom, but you indicated that you would be willing to do whatever is required by code.
Absolutely.
Fire escape, yeah, or whatever is necessary for that to be safe and comply with code.
That's correct.
And based on your testimony, you're saying that there is off-street parking?
There's
behind the
parking in
structure?
front of the house and directly behind the house. Which I believe on the slides, Lucia showed that there's parking in the front and there's also parking directly behind. And I believe that's owned by the city.
All right, that's all the questions I had. Members, do you have anything else for Mr. Murphy? Don't believe so.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, at this point, the public hearing is closed. We're in deliberations on 25 CUP 105. Any discussion, or is anyone ready to proceed with a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
make a motion for case number 25-CUP-0105. And I move to approve the conditional use permit based on the staff's report and the analysis and applicant and staff testimony we've heard today, subject also to the conditions of approval.
On page 8.
8 of 8. Yeah.
Is there a second?
Second, Horton.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the conditional use permit for the short-term rental. Roll call, please.
Jan, Horton,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Bozos,
No.
Vida,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Bond.
Yes, the CUP has been approved. Thank you.